How's your finger, and are you right for the third test?
Yeah, no, going really well. I was so close last game, but I think probably having an extra week has helped a lot. So, yeah, 100% all ready to go.
What happened in the lead up to that last game? Can you talk us through the process of, telling the coaches whether you're right to play, whether they were pushing you, how that unfolded?
No, we're all on exactly the same page, I reckon. Yeah, it's just a few instances in the nets where I'll maybe go for a sweep and just jar the end of my bat. We probably just thought that, probably sacrifice a game, and with obviously the year ahead that we've got, probably the right call. So, all on the same page.
Going back to Bangalore as well, I think Ronnie said the other day you had a bit of a setback there. Was that, during one of those training sessions there?
Yeah. I think it was exactly the same thing. Went for a sweep to a pretty new ball and just caught the very end of it, and then had a bit of pain at the back of my finger. But apart from that, it's been really sweet the last probably 2 weeks. So got a lot of confidence in it.
At the start, everyone thought it might be your bowling that's the last thing to come online, but it seemed like it might have been your batting that was the last thing to probably come back.
Yeah, for sure. My bowling's actually going really well. I think we probably thought maybe the ball on the back of the finger kind of rolling off might be painful, but that's been completely fine. It's probably been my batting that's probably taken a bit longer, but all good to go now.
How's it been against the Quicks?
Sorry, give me a sec.
No, it happens.
Sorry, go.
What was I saying? Batting against the Quicks, how's that been?
Yeah, no, it's been good. Had my first hit probably 4 or 5 days ago against the pace bowlers, and felt completely fine. And thankfully it's not the really bouncy Australian wicket, so over here you can get over the top of the ball pretty easily. So all sweet.
Was that a factor, Cam? Like, you hadn't faced fast bowling at all, I think, until or before that second test. Was it the kind of thing that you said you couldn't play without doing that? Yeah,
I think that wasn't planned. I think it was just we had a pretty long look at it, and I was like, there's no point rushing into it. So as many weeks as I could probably get without facing fast bowlers to give my finger a bit of extra rest was probably the way to go. It wasn't that I couldn't face them, it was probably just what we were planning for. So all sweet.
Cam, what were the emotions, I suppose, watching the first 2 test matches and knowing you couldn't go out there and contribute?
Obviously you always want to be out there playing. I think obviously over here you've heard so much about Indian test matches, and you kind of want to put in, you probably put all your skills into playing out there, because obviously we've been in the subcontinent quite a bit the last 6 months, so hopefully you've taken a lot out of those trips and you kind of want to put it into the game. So it was a bit funny watching, but can't wait to get out there.
And you played obviously that innings on a pitch that was doing all sorts in Gaul last year, where you committed to playing the sweep shot a lot and being very positive. How applicable is that to next week and what you do over here?
Yeah, I think that's probably the benefit out of watching the first 2 games. You get a pretty good look at it from the sideline without having too many emotions of being in the game. You get a pretty good outlook on it. So I think maybe in Gaul it was a really bouncing wicket, and over here it's not bouncing as much. So that's probably just another bit that I'm trying to learn about my game, about trying to read the conditions and what to do in different conditions. So that's what's kind of been nice about watching the first 2 games. You can kind of work out what's probably the best approach, and I think we just have to wait and see what we get indoor.
What's the mood been like in the camp after the first couple of tests?
Yeah, still really good. All the guys know how good of a team we are. We're obviously, I'm not sure if we're number 1 at the moment, but we certainly were for a year there, and we all still exactly the same players. We can still play really good cricket, and we've had 2 or 3 days off now, and we can't wait to get back into it.
And the World Test Championship, is that a motivating factor going forward for the last couple of tests, just to book that spot in the final?
100%. There's always something to play for when you still haven't guaranteed that spot in the final. So all of us are really keen to get out there and kind of stamp it and lock it in.
I know you're the kind of guy who likes to spend switching between formats, thinking about between the World Cup and the Test series last year. You're on the bowling machine with your old man and that kind of thing. Were there things that you weren't able to do in the lead into this test that made it harder this Test series that made it harder to prepare for this series, Ken?
Yeah, for sure. In the back of my mind, after the game of the MCG, I was looking forward to having a couple of weeks at home just to refresh and then get back into basically sweeping a lot, getting back my subcontinent skills. But yeah, unfortunately, it's been a bit slower than probably what I was expecting. Getting back out there and getting my skills up to scratch, but yeah, that's okay. I think that's just the nature of cricket and injuries basically. So yeah, you can never really rush these things, especially when they're a pretty important finger. So yeah, I'm happy with the process that we've gone through.
And you've been able to get some hours into that sweeping in the last few weeks.
Yeah, I think that's obviously the benefit of having the first 2 games off. I had a good 2 or 3 week kind of training block in a way, trying to get out whatever I could at training. So yeah, it's been a pretty good lead up.
You hit up anyone for advice on that kind of thing?
No, not really. I think there's obviously plenty of guys who are so experienced in this change room, so kind of watching how they've gone about it the first 2 tests, and yeah, there's obviously guys who've had a lot of success here, so yeah, just trying to learn off the guys in the change rooms.
Cam, one thing about the first 2 tests, obviously the balance that you can bring to a side when you're up and going, and sort of how that influences the way that the team is composed. Was that sort of brought home to you by being a spectator for those 2 games and sort of all the other moving parts? Yeah,
I'd never know that. I reckon the team they played on the day 1 of the first game, I think was probably the right team. So yeah, obviously when you come in as an all-rounder, you might be able to help out with team balance maybe a little bit, but yeah, I'm not sure about watching on the sideline, thinking what I could have improved with the team, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see which way the selectors go for this game.
If you get it, how long are you going to be in India for this year and this first stint as well?
Yeah, I think it's 3 or 4 months, I think.
Right.
Just getting into the swing of things, yeah.
That's including the World Cup?
No, that's not including the World Cup.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's about 2 months, or about a month and a bit for this trip. Yeah, a couple of months for the IPL, and then yeah, a month or so for the World Cup. So yeah, quite a bit of time in India.
How are you feeling about that? How's your family feeling about that?
Yeah, no, all good. I think we've all kind of accepted what's going to happen, and yeah, kind of bring a lot of energy to start the trip. That's been really good. Yeah, all the guys have been awesome to be around. So no, it's been a really good start to the trip.
Mumbai been in touch, they're a bit worried about your thing?
Yeah, no, not really. No, they've put all their faith in the coaching staff and S&C staff here. So yeah, all sweet.
All good. Thanks.
Reading.